In a recent appearance as a guest host on a popular podcast, Denise Richards opened up about a deeply personal and contentious issue involving her former spouse, Aaron Phypers. The actress, known for her roles in various films and television shows, expressed her strong disapproval and emotional distress over a crowdfunding campaign initiated by Phypers' family. This campaign, which aimed to gather financial support for Phypers amid their ongoing divorce proceedings, crossed a significant boundary for Richards by involving their young daughter, Eloise, in the narrative. Richards emphasized that while she could tolerate negative comments or accusations directed at herself, bringing their child into the equation for the purpose of soliciting donations from the public was unacceptable and morally wrong. The situation unfolded when Phypers' mother decided to launch an online fundraising page. The goal was to collect funds specifically for what was described as Phypers' legal defense during the divorce. In the description provided on the page, there were mentions of caring for Eloise during times when Richards was away, presumably for work-related travel. This inclusion painted a picture that suggested neglect or absence on Richards' part, which she found not only misleading but also exploitative. The campaign sought a substantial amount of money, but it ultimately failed to gain traction, raising only a minimal sum before being removed from the platform. Richards' reaction was one of outrage, highlighting how such actions invaded the privacy of their family and used their daughter's name in a bid for sympathy and financial aid. Delving deeper into the emotional toll this has taken, Richards shared that the divorce process itself has been challenging enough. Ending a marriage after several years together brings its own set of heartaches and adjustments, but discovering layers of deceit or unexpected behaviors from a partner amplifies the pain exponentially. She described the shock of realizing certain truths about Phypers' character, which has made the separation even more hurtful. However, the escalation to involving their daughter in public pleas for money represented a new low. Richards articulated that this move was not just surprising but also indicative of a lack of boundaries and respect. She reiterated her stance that personal disputes should remain between the adults involved, without dragging innocent children into the fray for leverage. The backstory of their relationship adds context to this turbulent chapter. Richards and Phypers had been married for 6 years before the split was initiated. The divorce filing came from Phypers, citing irreconcilable differences or other standard reasons often seen in such legal documents. Shortly after, Richards sought protective measures through the court system, alleging behaviors that made her feel unsafe. Although the initial request for a restraining order was not fully granted in the way she might have hoped, it set the stage for a contentious battle over assets, custody, and support. One particularly notable development was a court order requiring both parties to leave the shared residence in an upscale neighborhood. This eviction stemmed from unpaid rent and related fees, underscoring the financial strains that have plagued the couple post-separation. The home in question, a spacious property with multiple bedrooms and bathrooms, had been their family abode. The landlord pursued legal action to reclaim possession due to non-payment, and the court sided with the request. This left both Richards and Phypers in a precarious position, needing to find new living arrangements amid the emotional upheaval. Richards was allowed to retrieve her belongings under supervised conditions, with stipulations that Phypers maintain a significant distance to avoid any potential conflicts. These measures were extensions of earlier protective orders that had been put in place to ensure safety and order during the divorce. Financial difficulties appear to be at the heart of many of these disputes. Phypers, in his own court filings, expressed urgency in resolving spousal support matters, claiming dire circumstances. He mentioned the closure of his business venture, which focused on wellness and holistic practices, leaving him without a steady income source. Efforts to secure new employment had reportedly been unsuccessful, leading to hardships such as relying on friends for basic needs like food. The accumulation of debts, including substantial back rent and association fees, painted a picture of financial desperation that may have motivated the family's decision to turn to crowdfunding. On the other side, Richards has been navigating her career and personal life amidst these challenges. As an established actress, she continues to take on projects that keep her in the public eye, but the divorce has undoubtedly added layers of stress. Allegations from Phypers' side have included claims of infidelity, suggesting that Richards had been involved with another individual during their marriage. These accusations were detailed in communications that reached beyond the courtroom, potentially to influence public opinion or garner support. Richards, however, has chosen to focus on protecting her family, particularly her youngest daughter, from the fallout. Eloise, at 14 years old, represents the most vulnerable party in this scenario. Children in high-profile divorces often bear the brunt of media scrutiny and parental conflicts, even if unintentionally. Richards' protective instincts are evident in her public statements, where she draws a firm line against using Eloise's name or situation for financial gain. This incident raises broader questions about the ethics of crowdfunding in personal disputes. While such platforms can be lifelines for those in genuine need, they can also be misused to air private grievances or solicit funds under questionable pretenses. The podcast appearance allowed Richards a platform to voice her side without the filter of tabloid headlines. She acknowledged the pain of the divorce but also her resilience in facing it head-on. By speaking out, she aims to set the record straight and perhaps deter further escalations. The removal of the fundraising page suggests that the backlash or lack of support led to its discontinuation, but the damage to familial relations may linger. In reflecting on the broader implications, this story highlights the complexities of modern divorces, especially when public figures are involved. Social media and online platforms amplify personal matters, turning them into spectacles that invite judgment from strangers. For Richards, maintaining dignity and focusing on her children's well-being remains paramount. She has other children from previous relationships, and ensuring a stable environment for all of them is a priority.